I continue the chapter Solid Figures. This video is part 3 on the chapter Solid Figures. In part 1 we discussed about volume and surface area of cube and cuboid and took some questions related to that. In part 2 I discussed about area of cross section and perimeter of cross section to find out volume and total surface area and the cost of manufacturing and polishing three-dimensional objects at a given fixed rate. In part 3, I put more stress on area and perimeter of cross section and volume and total surface area using area and perimeter of cross section and taking some more questions based on that. Let's start part 3 of the chapter Solid Figures. Here I start part 3 on the chapter Solid Figures. In this topic, I'll start with putting more stress on uniform cross section and non-uniform cross section of a three-dimensional object. Let's observe the cuboid drawn here at the top. In this diagram, I consider the surface shown here at the leftmost side of the cuboid with red lines boundary and arrow. The second arrow line for the cuboid shows the length of the cuboid. If we cut many slices parallel to the cross section taken here or perpendicular to the length of the cuboid as shown here in the diagram, then many similar faces are created, and all those faces I have marked here with numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on, and we observe that all these cross sections obtained here are of same shape and same size. So finally we observe here that the cross section taken here in the diagram is uniform cross section, and in case of a cuboid, any surface we take that becomes the uniform cross section. Hence, it is easier for a cube or cuboid to find out volume using area of cross section and to find out total surface area using perimeter of cross section, because perimeter of cross section is also uniform due to having same shape and same size of the cross section. Let's take another example to understand cross section and uniform cross section. I take an example of a solid cylinder. In this solid cylinder, I consider this circular surface as cross section. The second arrow shows the length of the solid cylinder. If I cut many slices parallel to the circular surface shown here or perpendicular to the length of the cylinder as shown here in the diagram, then observe that all the circular surfaces created here are of same shape and same size. Hence, this cross-sectional area is uniform, means it has this circular surface as the uniform cross section. Let's take another example. Here too a solid cuboid is taken but placed at a different position. At this position of the cuboid, I take the surface shown here with red ink boundary and arrow sign. If we cut off many slices parallel to this cross section, then we find that many similar surfaces are created, and we observe that all these faces created are of same shape and same size. Hence, a cuboid has uniform cross section. To understand cross section, again I have taken an example of a solid cylinder but at different position. I consider this as cross section, and if we cut slices parallel to this length of the solid cylinder or perpendicular to the circular base, then the slices obtained are rectangular and are shown here at the right hand side and marked 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. We observe that faces of all the slices are rectangular but are of different shape and different size. Hence, these faces cannot be a uniform cross section. And we know very well that in the calculation of volume and surface area of a solid figure, area of cross section can be used if the area of cross section is uniform in the object. Now let's take some more questions on solid figures, and while solving the question we look for uniform cross section so that we use that area directly in the calculation of volume and surface area of the solid. Let's take a question number 9. It says a rectangular tank of dimension 30 centimeter into 20 centimeter into 12 centimeter contains water to a depth of 6 centimeter. A cube of edge 10 centimeter is placed in the tank with its one face resting on the bottom. Find the volume of water in liters that must be poured so that the cube is just submerged. It is question number 8 only, but let's see what difference is there in this solution. Initially, a certain amount of water is already there in the tank, and a cube is placed in the tank such that its one face rests on the bottom. Our calculation process starts once the cube is placed in the container. After the cube is placed in the container, the area of cross section of water is as shown in the diagram here. And then extra amount of water is poured in the container just to submerge the cube. In that case also, the area of cross section of the water is same as shown in the diagram. Finally, we observe that the area of cross section of water in the container throughout the solution is uniform. I explain the solution through this pictorial representation. Case 1, when water only was there in the tank. The height of water in the tank is pointed out using arrow sign. Case 2. When a cube is placed in water and new level of water is shown again using arrow sign. Our solution starts from here till case 2 where the height of water in the tank is shown using arrow sign, and till case 2 we don't need to know new height of water, but the area of cross section is fixed. Case 3. When extra water is added to just submerge the cube, then height of water in the container is 10 centimeter because height of the cube is 10 centimeter. So extra amount of water required is V3 minus V2, where in case of V3 and V2 the area of cross section of water is uniform. Let's start solution for this question. First part, the area of cross section of water in the container is 30 multiplied by 20 minus 10 multiplied by 10, where 30 multiplied by 20 is the base area of the container and 10 multiplied by 10 is the base area of the cube. Finally, the area of cross section of water in the tank is 500 centimeter square. Now extra amount of water, and that is the total water contained in the tank minus water already available in the tank, and in both the cases we find that area of cross section of the water is same, hence the solution becomes very easy. Water already contained in the tank is given, that is 30 centimeter into 20 centimeter into the height or depth 6 centimeter, and the value comes 3600 centimeter cube. Now for the total amount of water, after pouring extra water in the tank, we find that the area of cross section of water is 500 centimeters square and the height of the water is equal to the height of the cube, that is 10 centimeter, and the difference of the two is the extra amount of water added in the tank, and that is 1400 centimeter cube or 1.4 liters. I take the next question, question number 10. It says the following figure shows a Victory closed stand. Find the volume and surface area of the Victory stand. All the dimensions marked in the diagram are in centimeter. Let's observe the diagram. The front face of the diagram shown using arrow sign is the area of cross section of the solid, and it's very clearly visible here that this face is the uniform area of cross section. I find that this cross section has to be divided into 3 rectangles, and easily we can find out its area. The area of cross section I have divided into 3 rectangles. In the calculation of area of cross section, 30 into 20 is the area of the first rectangle. The area of the second rectangle is 60 multiplied by 30, and area of third rectangle is 30 multiplied by 30. In fact, the third one is a square. After calculation, the area of cross section obtained is 3300 centimeters square. Since area of cross section is uniform, hence volume of the figure is area of cross section multiplied by width. The expression for volume is 3300 multiplied by 40, where 3300 is the area of cross section and 40 is its width. Volume of the solid finally is 132,000 centimeter cube. To find out surface area, we need to find out perimeter of the cross section. I start counting from the bottom left corner of the figure and you compare with the values written here for calculating perimeter of cross section. Now observe, perimeter of cross section is this one 20 plus this one 30 plus this one 40 plus this one 30 plus this one 30 plus this one 30 plus this one 30. And since bottom is open, hence this particular length of 90 centimeter I am not including in the perimeter. Finally, perimeter of cross section is 210 centimeter. Now total surface area, and it is perimeter of cross section multiplied by width plus 2 times the area of cross section. The expression is 210 multiplied by 40, where 210 is the perimeter of cross section excluding bottom multiplied by 40 plus 2 multiplied by 3300, where 3300 is the area of cross section. Here 210 multiplied by 40 is the side and top area of the solid, and 2 times the area of cross section means 2 multiplied by 3300 is the front face and the back face. It means the area of cross section 2 times. Finally, total surface area of the box excluding bottom is 15000 centimeter square. Question number 11. This in fact is exactly question number 10, but here the difference between question number 10 and 11 is there the bottom was open and here the bottom is closed. So for the perimeter of cross section, the bottom length should also be added and rest of the things will remain same. So here perimeter of cross section and the total surface area will change because the bottom is closed. So bottom surface area will also be included in total surface area. After adding all these lengths, I find the perimeter of cross section 300 centimeter including bottom. Now total surface area is 300 into 40, where 300 is perimeter of cross section and 40 is the width of the solid, plus 2 times 3300, where 3300 is the area of cross section of the solid, and total surface area finally is 18600 centimeter square. Area of cross section and volume of the solid remains same. Here is your second homework on the topic solid figures. The chapter solid figure is completed. It had 3 parts. All those parts are covered and you have got 2 sets of homeworks. Complete your homework. Thank you.